Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Barakatah to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alatah Hashem Yahweh to the sisters. I am Priest and Officer of 500 Yaquatazah under commanding Jenny Hanna, representing the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, which was established since 1969 out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians are the Lord's chosen people. Absolutely. According to biblical, historical, archaeological, and geographical records. And our biggest issue about our people is maintaining brotherhood. Also, sisterhood is synonymous with brotherhood, according to the Lord's understanding. Yes, sisterhood is synonymous with brotherhood. But everything we do in the ISUBK, or everything that we do in life in general, though, always will partake in the type of brotherhood that you have, though, how you conduct yourself. And that's something extremely important, though, because our people in the neighborhoods, ghettos, gutters, barrios, and communities have serious issues of maintaining brotherhood. And that's why we are so divided. You know, that's why we let the oppressors and the other nations gas our head up and small talk us and fool us into thinking that your old Black, Latino, and Native American Indian brothers and sisters are your enemies, which is not true. We are one people. You know, Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians descend from a man named Jacob. Jacob had 4 wives. Out of the 4 wives, procreated 12 sons. So those 12 sons are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Yes, yes, you are. And our biggest issue is maintaining brotherhood. That's why the other nations, when they get together, though, they understand how to deal with each other, because they understand that other nations is competing against them. You know, regardless of what color skin tone you have, though, it's important that we understand of what nation or what race you are, and also understanding how to deal righteously with your nation and build your nation up, though. The Chinese are smart enough to deal with the people, though. That's why they have Chinatown. The East Indians are able to deal with each other righteously, though. That's why they have a Bollywood. The Arabs doing the same thing too. All the other nations understand how to build and maintain strong brotherhood within each other, though, except currently Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. If we learn to do that and learn from the men of God under command of Jenny Hanna, which is the ISUBK, we'll learn how to build our nation and deal with each other righteously, and keep our race strong. I'm gonna start with Matthew chapter 18, verse 15, because this is what Christ said. We all say we love Jesus and follow Christ, though, but here's the kicker, though. We're not doing that, though, because the majority of our people out here in this society does not have brotherhood. We hate each other. You know what I'm saying? We go against each other. We talk about each other. We gossip and all types of petty, grimy things that the Lord does not want us to do against each other. So for us that say we love Jesus and follow Christ and believe in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, this is what he said out of his mouth about brother. So this is something about brotherhood. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee. So if any Black, Latino, Native American, Indian brother or sister trespass against you, whether it's verbally, or if it's a minor physical abuse though. I don't mean like someone just that literally just assault you or punch you in the face though. That at that level though, you have to self defend. You have to self defend to protect yourself. You got to do what you got to do though. But if like for example, if a brother or sister steps on your shoes when you know it's not intentional, or if they bomb rush you, if you know it's not intentional though, that's like if they offend you physically though. If they if a brother or sister verbally abuse you, you know what I'm saying, offends you though, like like if they call you a bad word or call you out your name or curse at you or yell at you, scream at you though, it's a way how to deal with this though. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. So in the school under command of Jenny Hondo, if any brother or sister in the school trespass against me, if they offend me, whether it's verbally or if it's something that's minor physically though, like step on my sneakers or bum rush me or do anything that's physically minor though, then what I would do is I would go to that brother and sister and be like, some sir or ak or brother or sis, can I speak with you for a moment? And if they feel they want to speak with me for a moment, that would be fine. That's the perfect time for me to address to that brother or sister alone and let them know that I was offended and the, and explain the type of offense that they did to me though. That's what you should do. Even the same thing out in this society though. We gotta learn to not take things too personal or get too touchy or get so serious though. We gotta sit back and think and deal with it a more better way though, so it doesn't resolve to conflict. Because 9 times out of 10, in this society though, when it goes to conflict though, when it goes to fighting though, then a lot of times the fighting and beefing is never ending. The next thing you know, you start picking up knives and pistols, trying to unalive each other though, and that can get us nowhere because that's a learned behavior from the white man or the oppressor in this society. See, we've been taught how to go against each other and have war and conflict with each other over a fucking color. So, excuse my French, which is the stupidest, dumbest stage. Though you a loser to fight and because you offended of a brother or sister that has the wrong color, or for example, or if a brother or sister is wearing a baseball cap a certain way, or if a brother or sister is having some type of attire that goes against your posse, crew, or clique or something like that, stupid stuff like that. That's learned behavior from an oppressor, though, and we got to learn to not be so offensive and understand that if a brother or sister trespass you verbally, if they say something bad, if it's verbal abuse though, or if they do a minor abuse though, like if they bump into you though, or or accidentally throw an elbow, it depends on the circumstance, or if they step on your sneakers though, it's a certain way how to address that righteously so you can be able to gain the back. The precept is going to explain more about it though too. Well, first and foremost, you let that brother or sister know alone. Because if you do it out in public, then you're gonna draw a lot of attention. And then what's gonna happen is that people that hears it out in public, especially people that's in the world though, is gonna gas it up and they're going to instigate it. And they're going to instigate it to the point that like you, that person is gonna that has some grudge against each other is gonna end up fighting or destroying each other. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. So if this brother or sister that offended you and you dress that brother or sister alone, right? And they said they apologize and they understand that you were offended and they know they're in the wrong, they apologize. That's how you gain a brother or sister. Because more than likely, once that situation happened, though, you got that brother, these two people that speaking with each other though can start to deal with each other a little bit better. That's how that works, right? instead of just taking matters in your own hand and wanting to start conflict and fighting and things of that nature, though. And again, that's learned behavior of the oppressor. You know, we supposed to be people of dignity. Blacks, Latinos, and African American Indian, we're the lowest chosen people, though. So we supposed to lead by example. We're better than that, though. Heathens and the oppressors do that type of thing because they don't really understand how to conduct themselves accord when it pertains to being righteous, right? Verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, then right. So this is what happens when a brother or sister doesn't hear your offense, though, and they claim to say they be in the right, though. If they ignore you, or if they don't want to hear what you got to say, or they still believe that you're in the wrong, right? Take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. So what happened? I know, like in our school under Commander Jenny Hotterdole, if a brother or sister was to offend us verbally, or minor physically, like a bum rush, or stepping into somebody's shoes or something that's really minor, though, then what will happen is that, like, you will let that brother or sister that doesn't um that vents or disagrees with you, though, let them know that, sir, or Adawan, or brother, or mighty man or sister, I want to set up a counseling for you. I would like to take you to counseling. And once you establish that, and you mention that you like to take them to counsel, specifically with a brother, you just salute him, give him the salute, and go about your business. And um, you guys both know that a council will be set up, though, so that the captain or the officer that's a qualified counselor can decide who's in the right and who's in the wrong, depending on the scenarios. In this society, though, um, they have councils, though, but it's really not according to the Most High's understanding, because 9 times out of 10, though, they're gonna end up having conflict and end up fighting each other, though. Like when you see um shows like Jerry Springer and all other stuff, though, or Maury Povich or Ricky Lake, or Montel Williams, or a lot of different shows, or the Steve Wilkos, though. Like a lot of those TV shows, you will see that a brother or sister, um, especially like our people, though, I'm saying, blacks and Latinos, though, we had those shows, though, and they'd be offended, though, and a lot of times they didn't take it to proper counsel. They end up taking matters in their own hands. They start calling each other out of each other's names, and they hold grudges to each other's. And then, like, especially in Jerry Springer, though, they end up fighting, though. I'm gonna share this with you. The old school Jerry Springer back in the '90s, they used to fight for real. You would literally hear a brother and a sister get punched in their face, though, in the old school Jerry Springers back in the '90s, though, because I'm giving you an example of how this world operates, which is unrighteous, though, which can lead to conflicts and all types of madness that the Lord will not tolerate from our people, though. If you have to fight to self-defend yourself, to or to protect another life or someone else, though, by all means doing that, though. But this pertains to, like, what happens if a brother or sister of your same race and identity offends you. This specifically, like, with the school under Commander Jenny Hanna, though, because Commander Jenny Hanna don't play that. Commander Jenny Hanna taught us better than that, though, first and foremost, when it comes to dealing with brotherhood and sisterhood. If a brother or sister offends us, though, um, he taught us better than that, though. In this society, though, the council they have, though, doesn't operate right, though, because first and foremost, they're not following the Most High. They don't understand how they're supposed to conduct themselves, though. They're not taught under Commander Jenny Honda, though, how to utilize brotherhood and and have qualified counselors to moderate and referee and counsel the specific brothers and sisters that's coming up against each other to um to lower the rate of conflict, or to have the brothers and the sisters build back on one another though. They're not taught that though. You can only learn that in the ISUBK though, because out in this society though, they say they cool with each other though, but then the next thing you know, they end up beefing again and scrapping again, and name calling and gossiping and hating and plotting against each other and all this other stuff though. We don't do that in the school under Commander Jenny Honor though. We have professional counselors that deal with that and knows how to handle that. Verse 17, and if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it into the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. So this is what happens. Like if a brother or sister have received the counsel, that's the offender, and they're in the wrong though, right? And they decide to do their own thing and not obey what the counselor is instructing them. You know, 9 times out of 10, they get kicked out of school, because again, Commander Jenny Honda don't play that shit, right? You ain't about to be no ratchet, outrageous person doing their own thing. You go learn one thing. We gonna learn is we gonna learn to respect each other and deal with each other properly, and show proper brotherhood according to the Lord's understanding of the school. Outside is in this society though. In a sense though, it sucks to be in that situation though if you're not under Commander Jenny Honda though, because in the school, if a brother in the school or sister of the world offends you, we know how to deal with it. We know how to conduct with it. I said we just walk away. We just forget it. Like let them do what they got to do. But in this school, we have professional counselors. We have camp leaders though. We have captains. We have generals to handle the things properly, so that our lives run smoothly. So you can't do that in this society though. They try to play you. Some people just not take you seriously, laugh at you though. Like the Lord's absolutely against that though, and that's why it is important for our people to always maintain positive brotherhood, which would keep our nation strong. See, if we was able to do that in our societies, though, our neighborhoods and our projects will be a lot more united. That's what will happen. But the oppressor being diabolical, he pushes laws and pushes all types of schemes and plots to divide us and make us go against each other and have conflict. Again, the whole thing with having the wrong color, though, you having conflict of a brother or sister because they got the wrong color, though. You know what I'm saying? That's learning from the white man. You know what I'm saying? Who gives a fuck or what type of color you got on over a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell you this though, there's certain people that I can guarantee you though that can have a color that's opposing to what you don't like, and I can guarantee you won't lay a figure, you won't bust a gun at them. It's certain people that we know, logically speaking though. My point being made is that people know who they try to bully or punk off or do something to, or who they will not do that to. The facts, especially if you're incarcerated, though. You know what I'm saying? This whole thing about just because somebody got the wrong color on, or somebody is in the walking down your neighborhood, they don't belong here, or they wear they baseball cap a wrong way and all that, though. That's a learned behavior from their oppressors. That's what stirs a lot of conflict, though, because we learn a lot of things from our oppressors in this society. You know, that's a bad way of how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. Because again, I can guarantee you, though, you walk up to the wrong person and tell you got the wrong color on, or you in my block, or what you're doing here, though, you get your teeth knocked out, and you better be able to know how to fight, though, because if it's anything person you try to address, though, that brother or sister could really know how to fight, though. They probably could train in martial arts or boxing or kick or taekwondo or you know, or even us, Hebrew Academy. We trained on ancient martial arts, though. It's like somebody, you come to the wrong person, you get your teeth knocked out. You know, acting that type of way. Though. But my point is, though, we got to learn how to deal with each other righteously and stop getting offended over every little thing. And unless if the brother or sister offends you verbally, or if they offend you physically minor in a minor way, like they bump into you, like, for example, then you have to address it to that brother or sister alone that offended you. We're not supposed to act like uh, the ways of this society. Verse 18, verily I say to you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Because we gotta remember, though, what goes around comes around. So also it is important, though, how we treat each other and conduct yourself, though, because everything you do and say when you speak it to somebody, though, directly, though, can reflect on you in the future. So we want to be mindful of that too, though. Even myself, though, like, I got to realize, though, whatever I do now can reflect and affect me in the near future. So we want to always keep that in mind, right? Let's go to Psalms 133, verse 1. Because today, what I'm saying, we still have a misunderstanding on how brotherhood is supposed to be operated. And I'm speaking pertaining to our people that's too attached to this society, that's too attached to the ways of America, because again, the philosophy of America teach you how to be selfish and teach you how to be dishonorable, and learning those ways is what can destroy your momentum of showing brotherhood. It destroy your character, and to the point, though, that later on, though, you're going to end up regretting it. Because if you think that the oppressors or the other nations on your side, though, you got it wrong. They're using you. They're using you because you got money, or you got fame, or you got prestige status at some point, though. Until, like, what I'm saying, when it's time to pick sides, or when they get sick and tired of you, though, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Yep, this is the book of Psalms 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is, how friendly it is, right? For brethren to dwell together in unity. So what King David is saying to our brothers and sisters, though, he's saying, like, how friendly, though. What is the word? What does the word pleasant mean? Pleasant would be friendly, right? For brethren to dwell. What does dwell means? Live, dwell together in unity. Like, our people that's living in these projects, right? We should be able to. We're all living in the projects or in the gutters or in the barrios or the reservations together, and we're all in this society is being oppressed together by these oppressors and these other nations, obviously. So we need to dwell. What it said, dwell together in unity. We need to live together in unity, and have it become more civilized. Salaki, my battery's draining. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Hey, Salaki, I apologize. My battery was draining, so I had to charge my battery, my laptop battery. I apologize. But back to the topic though. What King David is saying on Psalms 133 and 1 is that like our people living in these same projects, neighborhoods, um, barrios, reservations, and gutters though we know deep down inside that we're going through trials and tribulations and troubles and being oppressed by this society. We know that for sure. Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians has one common enemy. It's the oppressors. It's the heathen nations. Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians know good and well that we're all um, at a low state. We're all getting first hire. First fire, last hire, redlining, and all types of different opportunities. Uh, once we get a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or PhD and all sorts of other job experience and trainings, though, then the oppressors say that we overqualified. What the hell is you talking about? What that doesn't make sense though. Overqualified for what? It just shows you that we're being oppressed together though. So we got to take heed of what King David is saying on Psalms 133 verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is, right? Friendly it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians understand that brotherhood is a weapon and how seriously brotherhood will keep our nation strong and united and keep us mighty though. And of course, the Lord's understanding, especially if we get under command of Jedi UBK though, then we will really be successful. Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians in every ghetto, barrio, projects, hood, whatsoever, if we understand how to conduct ourselves, of course, the Lord's understanding, and plus be under command of Jedi though, we will be unstoppable. You know, this why I was saying like that um, brotherhood maintains a strong nation. Because, us dwelling together in unity, being civilized, having compassion towards one another, though, understanding one another, being patient towards one another, showing mercy towards one another. Things, those types of attributes that we must have as a people. That's what the Most High requires of our people. We can't just do our own thing. That's not how that works. Because we try everything else, but get to the understanding and doing what the Lord says of this Bible. One of the commandments that the Lord requires us is to have brotherhood and being compassionate and civilized with our people, Blacks, Latinos, and American Indians. That is a commandment of the Most High. You breaking that commandment, you're not going nowhere. The Lord don't give a damn how many millions of dollars you got, how much property you own. The Lord can destroy all that shit. The Lord can take all that shit from you. Because, like I said before, whatever you do now on this earth and what you say and how you deal with people right now will affect you and determine you in the near future, though. So keep that in mind. Like we pray you understand that, though, for real. So let's go to Hebrews 13 and 17. This truth of this Bible is flawless victory, unstoppable. This Bible, this truth right here, this book is for us. This belongs to us, Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, because Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians are the only nation of people who are capable to serve the Lord properly. Once we do that, then we could put the other nations and races of people in their place, and we have to train them how to conduct themselves. On a sidebar, though, for example, like they're not going to be able to eat whatever they want to eat. They're not going to be able to do what or celebrate what they want to celebrate. That's not how that's going to work. Hebrews 13 and 17, I asked for, right? This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 17. Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for yourselves. Okay, like in the school under Commander Jenny Hunter, men that got rank over you, that gives you an order, you obey it, a lawful order. That like if it's to sweep the floor, mop the floor in the school, you follow that order. If it's to grab some water and some Gatorade during camp speaking, you do that. If it's to in a cookout, if they serve the food and help put out tables and chairs during a cookout, or you be on shamar or any type of event, whatever, though, you do that from the men that's above you. In the classroom, if you got a question or if you got a statement in the classroom or school, you raise your hand like you're supposed to, because I guarantee you, though, in any college class or school class, or I'm gonna make it real clear, in the court, more than likely you will raise your hand when that judge asks you if you got a question. You raise your hand, or that professor or any profession, when the oppressors are speaking, though, you definitely go raise your hand. So it's the same thing with the Bible. You follow orders and protocols from somebody that's superior over you in their position. That doesn't mean for them to abuse their authority or privilege or high prestige status or whatever, though. It's just to keep everything in decency and in order. That's how brotherhood can be maintained. That's how we can build a strong nation in our neighborhoods and communities and projects. You have to submit yourself. You have, like, what I'm saying, you have to say "Kana Wakan" or "Yes, sir." Now in the civilian world, though, you're doing the same thing too, though. In your job, your manager that gives you an order to do something, or whatever job you got in the position, you're not saying, like, even the United States Army, though, there's people that have rank over you. NCO that's over you, though, and right, though, will give you an order, though, you got to follow it. A lieutenant, though, obviously, though, or any officer, though, or a colonel, or or a captain, you know what I'm saying, or even a general, though, you're gonna salute them, you know what I'm saying, in the military, though, because that's what you are supposed to do anyways, though. So it's the same scenario with the Bible. Anybody that has authority over you or some type of prestige over you, though, you submit yourselves to them. Uh, with the officers in the military, you salute them. With the NCOs, when you talk to an NCO, you get out parade rest. So even like not commander in the military or lieutenant, whatever, though, you normally you get out parade rest, though, but 9 times out of 10, though, you don't get out parade rest, but you make sure you salute them, though. But just like in the school, though, You say Kana Wakan, or you say sir or Ottawa. You, you follow orders. You do what's instructed to do. That's showing brotherhood right there. That's what keeps a nation strong. That's proper brotherhood, and when it's used in proper manner. For they watch for your souls, right? Because the men that's above you are responsible for you. Just like in the United States military, the officers and the NCOs are responsible for you. They are held accountable for you. In a job, your manager in a civilian job is accountable for you. They are held accountable for you because the boss that's over that manager or the supervisor is gonna have the manager make the reports or whatever to see the status of the, the the workers that's under the manager in a job. Same thing with the United States military. Same thing with the Most High's army and the ISUBK under Commander Jenny. Everything is dress right, dress. So that's brotherhood. That's brotherhood at its best, right there. Everything is brotherhood is accountability. You know, it's showing accountability that they may do it with joy and not with grief, though. Right? We do this with joy, though. In this school, though, everything we do, I enjoy. I enjoy everything I do in the school. Even like back in the world when I was in Esau's military, though, when I did my orders, that was the NCO or the lieutenant, the platoon sergeant, or the platoon leader instructed me to do, or my squad leader instructed me to do. I got it done and I got out the way. And at times I enjoyed it though because I knew I was going to get the mission done or mission accomplished. I didn't have a problem. Like me personally though, I didn't have a problem follow orders and doing what's instructed me to do. Now in the school under Commander Jenny Honda though, it's a whole lot easier though because back when I was in the world though, I did those same scenarios, but those were heathens. Like even though some of those were Jakes though too though, but I did the orders that the white man instructed me to do back in Fort Benning or in Fort Lewis or overseas in Iraq, Afghanistan. No, even matter of fact, even in Fort Benning, though, our first sergeant was a Jake. He was a brother. He was a black man. First Sergeant Bailey. So he gave me orders that I followed. And then we had one drill sergeant that was from Brooklyn. I forgot his name though, but he was a staff. He was a drill sergeant from Brooklyn. He gave me orders that I followed. You know, uh, when I was in my units, I did the. I'm sidebar real quick though to show you that bro- brotherhood is what could build a strong nation. The same thing that the military is doing right now. So I'm just giving examples. Um, when I was in my duty stations, though, majority of my squad leaders were black people or Latino people. You know what I'm saying? Black people, Puerto Rican people, or a lot of times those Mexican brothers, you know what I'm saying, that gave me orders and instructions to do the job done. Now I'm going to rephrase it. Under commanding Jenny Hanna and the ISUBK, though, I get the orders from the men above me to get the job done. Not a problem. Everything is dress right, dress. So this precept is no different. Hebrews chapter 13 and 17. Obey them that have rule over you, authority, or that have rank over you, authority over you. And submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls. Right, because they watch over you because they are held accountable for you. As they that must grieve account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief. For that is unprofitable for you. Right, because 9 times out of 10, though, whether it feels in the truth under Commander Jenny Hanna right now, or even back in the world, though, the squad leaders that I had, or the platoon sergeants, or platoon leaders that I had, though, when I did the orders, though, they wasn't doing it with their own pleasure or personal security or for profit. They was doing it with proper righteous authority, though. Because I'm gonna share this with you, though. Even in the NCO creed, you would not abuse your rank or authority for personal protection, profit, or pleasure. None of that. Same thing with the ISUK under Commander Jenny Hondo. We don't use our rank for personal protection or to profit from it or for pleasure. We don't do that. That's not how that goes. Pleasure means like you abusing your authority, right? That's not how that works. Yeah, you would get your ass demoted quickly in this school. You would get effed up out here playing games like that though. Like we don't play games. Everything is done properly though, so that we build a strong nation. That's my whole point though. We utilize everything we do. We use the proper brotherhood to build strong brothers and sisters for us to have a strong nation in our communities. Strong. Hello, the downtown central. Let's go to Proverbs 11 and 14. If you need a library card or other assistance, please see a staff member. Thank you. Because the thing is though, with the oppressor though, even the military thing though, they say a lot of good ethic codes, hoo-ha and dandy and all that though, but a lot of times they're a bunch of hypocrites because they do a lot of things behind closed doors though, or they sometimes do things openly though, but then when people want to address it publicly though, they just ignore the whole thing. I learned this from experience though. I learned this from experience though, so I know. But now being under Commander Jenny Hanado, which is absolute righteousness, which is the Most High's army, though, everything is done in DC in order, but with strong, proper brotherhood to build our nation. That's what matters. Facts. I said Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14. No, not that one. Salakia. 11 and 14. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 14. Where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. That's something extremely important, though. Like in this school, though, counsel is extremely important in the ISUBK. Counsel. Accountability is everything. Like I was saying before, though, with what Christ is saying about Matthew chapter 18, verse 15, right? If any brother or sister trespass against you, meaning like if a brother or sister offends you verbally, or if they offend you a minor physical abuse, though, then you go to that brother or sister to them alone. You let them know that you're offended. Let them address the offense and explain it to them. And if they hear you, then you gain that brother. If they apologize, if they admit that they were in the wrong, but if they hold themselves not guilty or they say that you're wrong, then you set up a council with them in the school. But out here in this society, though, the way we taught, like I know, in this society, you would just have to walk away. Like if a brother, like you have to walk away. Like, but Lord allowed though, like in this society though, if that brother or sister uh understands that they offended you and they apologize and accept your offense though, then most high in Christ though. But in this society though, if they don't hear your offense and they think that you wrong, then Lord be with you though. They like this is why in this society though is unrighteous though. It has no brotherhood. It's hypocritical. They don't, but in the school, we counsel is serious though, whether it's counsel with family, counsel with the the brother, the men you deal with in the school, you know what I'm saying? Marriage counsel, all types of counsel. Counsel is extremely important for everything, whatever, right, because when it without the counsel though, then we can't build a nation. You know what I'm saying? Without counsel, then the ISUBK is not going to be able to function without any counsel, with no type of counsel. Right, the ISUBK would not function properly, you know. But like again, with the multitude of counsels, remember when I said we got the marriage counsels, we have the family counsels, we have the counsel for people who's fighting with different afflictions like weed, reefer, uh, whores, you know what I'm saying, hoes, gambling, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? Like any drinking, you know what I'm saying? Somebody could be a heavy drink, have a serious issue with drinking, especially if they're about to be behind the wheel, you know, or or in general, you know what I'm saying? Like how you deal with people though. If you can't handle your drinking, you know what I'm saying? You get drunk and you start ending up fighting or having conflict with different people or doing all types of wicked manners of behavior though, you know. We have the multitude of councils is extreme and it is great for our nation and it's what keeps the ISUBK on point, you know, because again, without counsel, then the ISUBK won't be able to function, and without no councils, you can't have you won't have strong brotherhood, and without the councils, you the the neighborhoods and the communities won't be able to properly function right because the councils that you get from these quote unquote mayors or celebrity leaders or whatever though they don't have brotherhood and they don't know what they're doing. You know, clearly it shows they don't have no brotherhood. They're not concerned about the troubles of our people or what's going on. They're not concerned of the family structures and the communities or the projects. Though they thinking about their own head, like putting money in their pockets or you know thinking about their own lustful ideas. You know, that's why the the Christian church and the celebrities in America and the athletes and the people of high prestige can't is not qualified to counsel our people. The ISUBK under Commander Jenny Hanna can counsel the brothers and sisters in the neighborhoods and give them proper guidance so that we maintain strong brotherhood so that we build a strong nation. Me myself though, I teach and I instruct though, and I can guide, do proper guiding though. But when it comes to the level of counseling though, I would direct that brother or sister to a general or a captain or officer that's qualified in that specific field of counseling. That's how things are get done. I'm not gonna just take matters in my own hand and try to counsel this brother or sister. No, that's not how that works. Again, I can guide that brother and sister, guide them to certain directions. But when it comes to a level when that brother or sister needs counseling, specifically if it's about uh, weed or hoes or whores or anything that's at a serious matter, though, I would direct that brother or sister to the men in a school that are certified counselors in that field. That's how it's done. That's how we keep the brotherhood strong. You know what I mean? That's me showing brotherhood right there because number one, I care about that brother or sister that needs that proper counseling. Number two, it is appropriate to direct them to the generals, the captains, or specific officers in that field who's qualified to counsel that brother or sister to that. Right. So that just shows how we serious we are about maintaining brotherhood and keeping our nation strong. Right. Let's go to Leviticus 19 and 14. Hear what Moses got to say pertaining to brotherhood. And again, Salakia, for the low battery though, I check next time to make sure my battery is charged and though you know how to turn it to the other side though. But for the students, brothers and sisters that's watching, the water, which means thank you, we really appreciate it. Please like and share and subscribe to these classes to push the algorithm because for the people, I said the book of Leviticus 19 and 14. This the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but before so no, matter of fact, I'm gonna start at verse 13. Leviticus 19 and 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. Right. Don't do fraud, do counterfeit things or fraud things with your brother or sister do. That's not the right thing to do. Don't rob your brother or sister. You know what I'm saying? Don't take their goods. Don't steal their goods or threaten to take their goods or anything, or because you don't have it, or you feel the need you want to do that to them. No, don't do that. That's not brotherly though. That's not how we can build a nation up though. Because keep in mind, especially if you do that to your brother or sister though, then in the future it's gonna be bound to happen to you though. What goes around comes around. You know, scripture say, whatever you reap, show you whatever you sow, show you reap. What goes around comes around. Right. That's in Galatians. What is it? I think it's Galatians 3:28, something like that. I'm just quoting it though, but definitely it's definitely in there though, for sure though. But don't defraud your neighbor. Don't rob your neighbor. Don't do that. The wages of him that is hired and shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. Right. Verse 14, thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shalt fear thy God, I am Yahweh. Right. So don't put a stumbling block for the people that doesn't know no better. Right. What it means by the blind. Like, don't tell nobody that don't know. Don't mislead any of your brothers and sisters false information. Don't do that. Don't do that, because that's what Christianity has been doing with our people for a long time. That's what our celebrities, black Latino celebrities and entertainers, and even athletes and music people been doing, misleading us with a lot of false information. That's why we out here in a low state though, getting unalived by the police, getting destroyed by uh, drugs and extreme alcohol and guns, and gun violence, and too much crimes and conflicts with among our people though. Why is that happening? Because there's no brotherhood though, no proper brotherhood to lead to build our nation though. Then you got a lot of our people that's not the men of the Most High blind our people though with false misleading information. You know, whether it's Christianity, Islam, or Buddhism. You know what I'm saying? Serving false gods and deities. You know, that's why we are at a low state right now, because a lot of our people is misleading um, false false information to the blind. You know, you got T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, and you had your Jesse Jackson. You know, your MLK, right? Because Martin Luther King even said he led us to a burning house before he got unalived by James Earl Ray. So Malcolm X, technically, he led us to, even though Malcolm X fought for our people on self defense and all that though. But Malcolm X led our people to a burning house too, though, because he had us serving the God of Arabs, which is Islam, Muslim, you know, and the Lord. And what do Arabs and Islam do? They are known to do drug dealing. They make it legal to drug deal, and they make it legal to beat the hell out your woman, which is unlawful. And the Lord will destroy you for that, though. And that's facts. So you can look at the book of Quran. What was it? Quran 1 and 4, or Quran 4 and 1. In the Quran, you can beat your wife up. That's why we're supposed to serve Islam. You know, according to the Bible, that's unlawful. The Most High would destroy your ass for that. Don't beat on your wife. Don't beat on a woman. Don't beat on, right. Don't beat on her like that. It's a ways to, right. That's unbrotherly. Basically what I'm saying. out of this context though. You know what I'm saying? That's why like all these different uh things to for a stumbling block to mislead the people that wants to learn, the people that's blind because they don't know which path to go. You know, because you got to remember though we suffering for what our forefathers did though. So that's why the majority of us are blind. We don't know what God we're supposed to serve, and the ones that's making us serve these false gods and deities, and the results are getting worse though. It's bad brotherhood. And you're not doing anything about it. Verse 15, ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, and thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. So whether you poor or rich, though, there's no respecter of persons. If you wrong, you need to be corrected, or you should check yourself. Right, right. So that's showing brotherhood right there. There's no right. There's no respecter of persons. Like the Most High don't give a damn if you're Jay-Z rich, Michael Jordan rich, you know what I'm saying? Or if you MC Hammer broke, crack broke, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like the Lord don't care about none of that though. Your morals and your principles on obedience and how we're supposed to conduct ourselves speaks more than anything when it comes to showing proper brotherhood for your nation of people to make our right with no morals, no respect, though, you know what I'm saying? Whether you're rich or poor, though, um, you need to be checked or corrected, you know, doesn't matter. But in righteousness, shall thou judge thy neighbor, right? When we judge our brothers and sisters, make sure it is an absolute righteousness, for sure. Do that, you know. Where we at? Let's go to Matthew chapter 8, verse 9. Under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, to another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant, do this, and he do it. Right. This is brotherhood, though, because what Christ is bringing, authority. Like if you're a sister, in the school, or even like at your job, at your slavery, though, you got your manager that's above you, right? You just do what the men above you in the school instruct you to do, as long as it's righteousness, though. Because in the school, we're not going to make you do nothing that we wouldn't do, and especially we're not going to make you do nothing that is absolutely against the Lord, you know. But in the job, though, you know what I'm saying? Like the manager on the civilian life, though, the manager gives you an order to do this to get the job done. You're supposed to do that. You know, that right. You're supposed to do that anyways. The Lord will require you to do that anyways because you're at a job. You're working, you know. Verse 10, when Yahweh Shai heard it, right, when Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, verily, I say to you, I have not found so great faith, so not in Israel. Right. Right. He's saying that though, because he says so not in Israel though, because if you got faith though, you got confident in doing what's righteous and doing what you're supposed to do though, you know. Like you can have faith in anything, you know what I'm saying, if you're trying to make something happen though, especially if it's the right thing to do, you know. Like, well, first and foremost, though, Blacks, Latinos, never American Indians, we need to have faith in keeping the law, statutes, commandments. That's first and foremost. And with following in the first, like keeping the law, statutes, commandments, though, we need to have faith in brotherhood and showing mercy and treating our brothers and sisters righteously. You know, that's what Christ is bringing out, though, because our people didn't have faith in that, though. You know what I'm saying? If a brother or sister, you know what I'm saying, if a brother that's above you in the school give you an order, though, you follow it. You do what you're supposed to do, especially if it's a righteous order, if it's right. You know, if it's especially if it's something that really needs to be done. Um, for you sisters though, if you got a man, you know what I'm saying, if you got a man or a husband though, that's your Lord. For you sisters, any man that you sleeping with though, that's your man, that's your husband, that's your Lord. You supposed to obey him. Whatever righteous thing he instruct you to do or order you to do, you're supposed to do that. You serve him. That's your head. That's your Lord. That's what the Most High said. You're right. That's showing brotherhood right there. Right. Well, don't do nothing that you know that's unrighteous. Though, if you know it's unrighteous, though, of course you don't want to do it though. But if he tell you to cook dinner or do the dishes, like yeah, but do that. That's an order. You know that man you slept with though. That's your Lord. That's your boss. Point blank. You know, and what Christ is breaking out though this time though a lot of our people uh just has a misunderstanding on how brotherhood is supposed to be executed though to keep a nation strong though. Yet we want to do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? We too stuck in following the ways of how the Romans want to conduct themselves, which is unrighteous at this time. Same thing right now in America though. We so stuck in wanting to live like an American and doing everything that's philosophy of what America teaches, though. America teaches to be dishonorable towards one another, though. America teaches to be selfish and not have no compassion towards one another, though. America teaches to bring out conflict and start beef and strife and war against each other, though. America teaches when not to let shit go. You know what I'm saying? When you having a bad argument or a conflict with another brother or sister, we gotta learn to like let it go. Like you know what I'm saying. In the ISUK under command of Jenny Hondo, we taught how to deal with that. Especially when a brother or sister offend us. We do what Matthew's chapter 18 verse 15 says. If that brother or sister offends you, you address them and them alone and deal with it. If they don't hear your offense, take them to counsel. If they hear your offense and they show that they're wrong and apologize, then you keep moving forward. That's how you build a nation. In this society, it differs. So you got you got to deal with it. So like Lord be with you though. If that brother or sister that's in the world though, um, uh, apologize and understands that you offended them. That's why it's important for all Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians to be under commanding Jenny Hanna, the ISUBK, so we can learn how to deal with each other and build this nation and strengthen the brotherhood and within our nation, right? Well, yeah, let's go to Matthew's 18 and 15. We do Matthew's 18 and 15. Because at the time of Christ, though, that's what Christ was pretty much teaching us, though. Like Christ didn't only radicalize the laws and teach us the spirit behind the law to get understanding, so that you don't commit sin, so that you don't break the Most High's laws and commandments, right? He's showing us to think twice, right? Christ was also teaching us to execute brotherhood more efficiently, right? uh Matthew chapter 18 verse we already got that one right there. Salakia, Matthew chapter 8 verse 9. Salakia. Okay, all right, we did Matthew. All right, 18 verse 15. Salakia, 18 verse 15. All right, okay. That was about we just did that. Well, that was just about what happens if any brother or sister offends you verbally, or if it's a minor physical, if they minor abuse you, physical minor, if they bump into you, though, there's a certain way how to address it. So we did that already. Let's go to Leviticus 19 and 18. Back what Moses is saying. So in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 18. Oh, no, 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 no. Let's start at verse 17. Right. This the book Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. So that means for you blacks and Latinos, though, don't have no grudges or no type of vengeance in the mind or no type of wickedness to want something bad or terrible happen to a brother or sister. That's a no-no. The Lord's against that. If you claim for the Lord to forgive you and for Christ to redeem you and give you proper salvation, then you cannot have no hatred towards thy own brother. It's talking about blacks, Latinos, Never Indians. You can't have no hatred or no wickedness, grudge, or no bad thought against our brothers and sisters. That's a no-no. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor. Right. We can check them and correct them if it's necessary, though. Right. Right. And it's not suffer sin upon them. But that doesn't give us the right to suffer any bad thing or terrible thing or sin upon them or hope they do something terrible. That's not how we're supposed to think. That's what the white man or America wants you to act or think that way towards us towards us among each other, so that we stay divided and separate towards each other, though. But yet we all live in these same communities and neighborhoods and projects. Blacks, Latinos, and African Indians. We live in these same uh, neighborhoods and projects, right? But we got to learn to not have hatred in our mind, in our thought process, in our heart, in our thought, not have the thought process of hatred towards each other, not have the thought process of want anything terrible to happen to any of our people. Don't do that. Don't. The Lord absolutely gets that, and the Lord can read our minds because that's how powerful the Most High is. The Most High is a different type of man than we are. He's not flesh and blood. The Most High uh, is entirely different from us. Though the Most High has the power to know what we got to do before we think about doing it. So that we pray you understand for that. Don't suffer no sin upon no brother or sister. No, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But we say we love the Most High and we want our King to redeem us. So in order for that to happen, we can't have no hatred towards our own people, any brother or sister, or want no type of bad thing. But if anything, if we go check or correct somebody, we can rebuke them if it's righteous. You know what I'm saying? If they going off, if they going off there, or if they start saying anything that's going off, right? We can do that. Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. So you can't have no vengeance or no grudge against your own people. We gotta like the whole thing with the beefing when it escalates to gun beefing, though. We gotta drop that. You know what I'm saying? We gotta we got to stop holding grudges and vengeance against each other. We got to stop doing that because somebody lives in the opposite side of the neighborhood, or somebody's wearing the wrong color, stupid stuff, or somebody's claiming another set or a crew or a posse or some type of gang. You know what I'm saying? That's a white man's thing. That's not our culture. Number one. And again, I'm gonna go back with the color stains over a fucking color. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a grown ass man or woman, and you having a grudge against your own Black, Latino, Native American, Indian brother or sister that's wearing the wrong color on. Man, get the so I think I don't want to say that though, but dude, stop, cut it out, because the Lord would definitely destroy you for that. He will make terrible things happen in your life, because you damn sure won't do it to the oppressor or the white man. So cut it out, knock it off. We got to love each other. We better than that. We're supposed to act like the Lord's chosen people, which is Israelites. We're supposed to conduct ourselves better. Who gives a damn about how much red you got on, how much blue you got on, how much black or white you got on? Lord, who cares about that? Because, like I said before, there's people that can wear something opposing to you, though, and I guarantee you won't do a damn thing to them. There's people or somebody's out there, right? So knock it off. Specifically for my brothers and sisters that's sharing this, though. It's important, though, because we try to save lives. We try to build a nation. We try to strengthen brotherhood to make our nation of people that lives in these different neighborhoods and projects stronger. We got to learn to have mercy and show compassion. All of that is carnal mind thinking anyways, thinking like the white man with repression. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. I am Yahweh. Right. So if you, like I said, if you love the Most High, and if you want Christ to redeem redeem you and forgive you, then you can't do none of these things. Though you can't have grudges and hatred and vengeance towards your own people. You can self-defend and protect yourself against anybody that try to attack you, but you can't have vengeance and grudges and hatred towards your own people. But if anybody that tries to attack you or try to attack your loved one, you have all by means to self-defend or protect, even if it costs a life. Though you got to do what you got to do, but be wise. Use common sense. Come out the mindset of living like an American and the thought process of an American, because all that teaches us to dishonor each other, dishonor one another, to have dishonor towards yourself. Right. That's why this topic, brotherhood, brotherhood maintains a strong nation. We need to understand that. Right. So that's it on that. Where we at? Let's go to James chapter 2, verse 8. This will be the last precept, and that'd be it for the class. James chapter 2, verse 8. The scriptures in this Bible, oppression makes a wise man mad. I think it's what's that? Ecclesiastes 7:7. I think that's what it is. So I think that's the precept though. But I'm definitely quoting though. Oppression makes a wise man mad, because I see what's going on out here in the society. A lot of unrighteousness, but a gift can destroy up the heart though. The white man's millions and trillions of dollars can destroy our mind quickly though if we don't stay focused on what we out here, what we're supposed to do. I said James chapter 2, right? Verse 8. I'm getting it right on. Last precept. This is the book of James, chapter 2, verse 8. If ye fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Like I was talking about before, though. Brotherhood maintains a strong nation. If you love yourself and forgive and have compassion to your own people, Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, just speaking directly to you, like Jay said, who's a man of God, right? Who is indeed a man of God, right? Because in order to be a man of God, you have to be an Israelite. James is an Israelite. Thyself ye do well. Verse 9, but if ye have respect to persons, like I was saying before, you commit sin. All this whole respect to persons because they got money or they look good or some type of whatever type of prestige level they in. If you have respect for that person just because they your blood family member or whatever, you know what I'm saying, then you committed sin and the Lord's against that. And the Lord's go charge you for that. So keep that in mind. And are convinced of the law as transgressors. Verse 10, for whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. So what I'm saying is that the Most High requires us to be perfect in brotherhood, and maintaining brotherhood to build a strong nation. That's what the Most High says. With that, that's it for the class. Let me give you a courtesy salute for time's sake. I'm marching, which means to stand. IHK security announcements, rules for a new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew. Ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give it to the general or teacher. Priest for a free will offering for priest, not mandatory, whatever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. What we have right here, the feast of first fruits, right? Which was Sunday, April 12th, 2026. Sunday, the last day will be Sunday, May 31st, 2026. Starts before sundown. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 10 through 21. Remind Akim Akwathib to check bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. With that being said, give a courtesy salute to the teachers, myself, men of Israel. Amajim, which means stand. Amad Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahaba Shab Yahshab Barakatah, Yazbatah, sorry, which means start, tar. Give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Sisters Amajim, which means stand. Amad Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alatha Ba Shabi Al Shai. Yazbatah, class dismissed.